Hey guys, okay, welcome. This is another episode of Access to Experts, and we're back. We're back. I'm Ann DeVere, and I'm here with my expert. Yeah, this is Access to Experts. This is, yes, Seth Mulder, okay, the man with
Hey,
the
Ann, I was gonna.
information.
We could say the man, the myth, the legend, but are we passing into legend right now?
Okay, we'll go the man, the myth, and we're working on the legend. Okay, we have to have something to strive for, don't you? Come on.
Absolutely. But a
Yeah.
man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for?
Oh
From
gosh, we're going into
poetry,
poetry.
from high school. I remember that. I remember that. Just like what in the world does that mean? But it's exactly what you're talking about. You know, having something to reach for, which is what we're talking. It's a great segue into the subject matter today. Finding
It,
something more, reaching for something more, having something in your hand, but just not satisfied with it, just because it wasn't enough. Cash flow. So yeah, I'm seeking to become all I can. I don't have to be a legend, but I have to tell my story. Absolutely have to tell my story, and so do you. Who, if you're listening to this, you are listening to this. You have a story. Absolutely have a story and a life to live. So, and it all comes down to economics, Anne. The more I read history, it history revolves around economics.
it does.
Money.
It does. Money
You
makes
don't
the
really.
world go around, as they say, right? It impacts so many aspects of our lives. And you have a little bit of a lag going on there. So I know I just talked over you. So, anyways,
You
you,
sounded great to me.
well, well, hopefully we're broadcasting and we're looking just fine on the other end. Maybe the lag is just showing up on my end. But anyways, you guys, happy to be here because we're talking money, money makes the world go around. And as as always, I am loaded with questions, and Seth is loaded with answers. So, what I wanted to know is the different types of income that we have. Okay. So we're going to go through this linear income, leveraged income, residual income, all these different kinds of income. So Seth, you're on the spot, you're in a hot seat, and questions are going to come one after the other. So
Awesome.
let's yeah, yeah, I know you love it, right? So let's start with a linear income. What exactly is it?
All right. A little education about how we make money. Does it I have to give a preamble to that question, and it will be a short
Okay.
with as your income is, with as important. I mean, your income is going to largely decide pretty much your lifestyle, where you live,
Yeah, Seth,
what
you're
you
lagging
eat,
really,
how
really
you
bad right now. Seth, it's really bad. Um, so I don't
am
want
I
to miss.
breaking up, Anne, or am I
Yeah,
just
no,
lag?
you're breaking up. You're breaking up because we're not even getting most of what you're saying. And I know this is so important, so important. Is there
Okay, give me
anything that
10 seconds. Let me see if I can offload some of our bandwidth. I'm, I'm, I'm
go
gonna.
for it? And I'll just keep them going. I'll keep them going. Okay, guys. So this is live. We're live. Anything can happen. And you know what? Maybe those of you who are kind of taking your time to get comfortable on camera, to get out there, share your information, guess what? Technology will happen. So step up and share your information and your knowledge. We're always looking for guest experts, by the way. And today is all about money. Money Mondays. Okay, Mondays are all about money, and Seth and I are actually focused on that. We have a series. You know, weekly broadcast. All of it featured, Money is the featured guest expert. Well, actually, Seth is a guest expert. Money is the featured topic, right? So happy to have you back, Seth. I don't know that it has made that much of a difference, but let's give it a try. Give it a try. Can't hear you.
I hope you
Can't
hear
hear you.
timing. That was just my mind
Oh no!
impersonation. I'm actually, I'm actually really here. All right,
You're there,
are
but
we
you're
ready?
still pixelated. You're still breaking up. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that 8 seconds made a big difference. But I was actually telling people that we're going to be having a weekly broadcast all about money. So you kind of
Wonderful.
that's what. Yeah. So
I'm going to jump back in. Can we try this again?
let's try. Let's try. Let's go for it. We have to get it out there.
Okay.
Come on.
Awesome. So if you're re-listening to this, we're at the marker 6 minutes and 5 seconds. You can just skip into 6:05. Maybe we'll put that in the comments. Go to 6:05.
Much better, by the way. Much better. Yeah. Now we can see. Yeah. There you go.
Magic.
Oh, I love magic.
So with as important a subject as money is cash flow in your life, right? I'm not talking about world economy. I'm not talking about the nation, a recession or a boom, whether it's a bull market or a bear market. What's the most important economy in the world? It's yours. It's your personal economy, right? That's where it hits home. That's where it really makes a difference. And your income is going to determine whether you're 16 years old working a part-time job, or whether you're 96 years old on a fixed income. That income is going to determine your lifestyle, where you live, how you live, what you eat, how you're able to transport, how you're able to provide care for yourself, health care, right? So we just don't educate well enough on this subject. Economy, money, finance is what, in large part, has fueled the rise and fall of nations and families. So I'm happy to be with you and to talk about some of the simple definitions in something as simple as cash flow. When I say cash flow, I'm talking about the amount of cash, right? Hard cash, green cash, foreign cash, digital is where we live today. Digital cash, Bitcoin cash, crypto cash, whatever it is. Income, that cash flow like a river, right? What does that look like? How much is coming in? Is it a small trickling stream? Is it a massive pipeline? It is a gush. Is it Niagara Falls? Right? Are you getting it? So
I'm getting it. I love that whole visual cash flowing like Niagara Falls. That's just yeah.
bring it,
Yeah.
bring it to me, bring it to me.
Just get a whiff of the sprinkles coming down, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's if you ever watched Fiddler on the Roof, right? And Tevye's talking to God, and he's like, if I were a rich man,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, dear God, may I be cursed with riches, may I be cursed and never recover, right? may I be cursed and never recover. So that's the preamble why this is so important. You better take time to learn how money works, because that will affect the rest of your life and I'm talking about generational blessings or curses, generational knowledge, applied knowledge, wisdom, or ignorance.
That's so important what you just said. Before we go into all of the different kinds of income, that generational wealth, a lot of it starts with the mindset, right? The things we learn from our parents about money, how to manage money, what is money, how do you use money, the impact and the power of money in our lives, the good of money, the evil of money, there's just all these conversations that are going on. So I'm so glad you brought that up, generational wealth. We pass on wealth, knowledge as well. So that's why, yeah. So
That's
that's why
hot.
we're so excited to be doing this, you guys, because knowing the types of money that we can make is only one part of it. The mindset on what we do with the money, which kind of money we go after, has a lot to do with how we live our lives and how our children live their lives, and the generation, what goes in there. So Seth is the guy. That's why I'm learning. Seth, my mentor, on how to have different kinds of incomes dancing together.
Love it.
Okay.
Love
So
it.
there's so many different kinds, and so that's why I'm like really excited for you guys to be paying attention. The way he sees money, the way he dances with money is really, really important. So Seth,
So
go
Ann,
on. The stage is
okay.
set.
So you talked about mindset. Before I define these, I just a couple of
Yeah.
experiences recent, by the way. Just you conjured them up. You inspired me. So I know of a family, and great family, great people, and the father has has worked hard their entire career, now kind of in the retirement phase of life. And growing up, this hardworking man would, working several jobs, picking up overtime shifts. I mean, some of you all probably know a man or a woman who is fulfilling that role right now, uh, at present, and very, likely in your past as well. We see these people all over working very hard to make ends meet, and often sacrificing their own comforts in order to, you know, pass that income, pass that meal, that next meal on to their children. So this individual, this man would tell his kids, listen, we don't need to have money. We don't need to be rich. Okay. And in fact, if I were rich, it wouldn't change my life. Nothing would change, right? Because we're basically comfortable with where we are. And I've known this individual for decades, literally. And something really interesting. I had a real personal conversation with this gentleman recently, and it was such an eye opener to me. They basically said, he said to me, he's like, you know what? It's how I always felt. That's what I was, taught my kids. And this is what he said: because I was never really comfortable, right? Basically there was this underlying fear with I didn't want to be responsible with being kind of laden with wealth, right? Like, may I be cursed and never recover. In this case, it was like, no, may I never be cursed. May I never be blessed with that because I don't know what to do with it, right? And I thought, wow, what a powerful, powerful mindset. I don't know where that incredible man thought of that or had that thought, that program, if you will, but that has affected an entire life, pretty much an entire lifetime. And then think about how many children, and then think about those children. Right? This man's in retirement, so those children are having children, and whose children actually may be having children. So having your mindset to in a proper having a proper financial mindset, a money
Seth, I
mindset.
can add something to that, my own
Please do.
personal experience. Just so you know the mindset, and now that we're on that topic. I was born in Armenia. At the time, it was one of the republics of USSR. So the mindset was it's dangerous to have money. So I always, my dad was, he was always able to, get what we needed. But somehow I knew it's okay to make money, but it's dangerous to have money. So for the longest time, I was always like, oh, I can make whatever amount of money I want for whatever I want. And I did, right? What if I wanted something? I made the money for it. But somehow having accumulated money was just like I did not realize that my subconscious was keeping me from having money work for me. I was
Mhm.
working for money. And that's why I'm so excited about the information you're sharing, because there are all these different ways. They have different names: the linear income, the leveraged income, residual income, passive income. These all need different mindsets.
Yes.
And that is what is like, I'm just so happy we're doing this series. You guys, this is a series. This is a 16-part series. We're here from start to finish, from mindset to all the different ways you can have what you want and how you want it. And I'm learning right along with you. So I'll tell you, Seth is my money mentor. Okay, you guys. So watch this. Okay, now
All right.
handing
We
it
did
back
it.
over to you. Go,
We
go.
laid the foundation.
We did.
So let's go in and define different ways of generating income, right? Different types of income. And the first one, Anne, was what were we going to talk about?
The first one is linear income.
Okay. Linear income. Linear, we're talking about a line. Okay. You're going to draw a straight line. The time that you put in to the money that you receive. Right? This is linear income. In other words, you're going to exchange money, and there's going to be a direct, immediate, straight line. Pardon me. You're going to exchange time, right? Your time or your expertise in time, and a direct line is going to come back to you. They're going to pay you what you are worth, right?
So this
So
is the hourly wage that most people do, 9 to 5. Whether you just get paid by the hour based on what you're worth. So some people get more than others, but it's still, if you don't work, you don't make money.
$10 an hour, $16 an hour. I'm not up to date on how much nurses make and doctors, but if you're a nurse, you're at $40 an hour, whatever it is, right? Maybe if you have some specialized information or specialized skill set in construction or whatever that might be, you're getting paid on an hourly basis. Now, an hourly job or career is linear income, but so is salary, folks. Right? I remember the days back when I was working in corporate America, the first essentially 10 years, 10 plus of my economic history, my independent financial history. All of us hourly guys always wanted to, we thought, wow, wouldn't that be great if we were salary? Because you have this fixed salary. By the way, what are you doing with a fixed salary? Whatever it is, $48,000 a year, $96,000 a year. Maybe you're a CEO or an executive, right? And your salary is $148,000 a year or $231,000 a year. It doesn't matter. You're still exchanging time. The problem with being salary, what we realize is those guys and girls who are on salary, they weren't putting in a 40-hour week. They were like, the company had them for as much time as they needed, but still the medium of exchange was time, right? The hourly's based on an hourly. The commission, pardon me, the salary individual is still time. It's just it's an undisclosed amount of time. It could be 80 hours this week, right? That's linear income. You're trading your expertise primarily in time, and you're receiving income from that. Now, what are the limitations here, Anne? The obvious limitations of this.
That you run out of time, then there's only so much money you can make. Yeah.
Right.
So I think all of us have experienced that at one time or another from our first job here and there. But you know what? I want to get to the good stuff. I want to get to the good stuff, the yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay. So leveraged income. So what is leveraged income?
So leveraged income is where you have created some leverage. Like imagine you got a big rock that you got to move, like a big old rock boulder or something. It's heavy, right? And it's just you. It's just you. So linear income, by the way, we're gonna kind of keep coming back and reteaching and drawing all these different facets into the current narrative. Linear income sometimes is like just pushing on that rock all by yourself. And as long as you're pushing, by the way, they're paying you. right? Until you get downsized, right-sized, COVID-sized, or whatever, right? I mean, the economy changes, right? And if you're typically in a linear income, you're at the bottom of the food chain, folks. You're at somebody else's mercy. Leverage is where you've been pushing and pushing and pushing on this boulder, and then somebody hands you a steel rod about 6 feet long, and you put, and they instruct you, say, if you'll put that in the bottom, right, wedge it in there between the earth, the ground, and the rock, and kind of squeeze it in there, and then you'll pry down on that. You'll just start moving on that. Something happens. What happens? The rock that couldn't move, that was dead set in that ground, it starts to budge, right? The beam, this steel rod, has become leverage. It's something independent of you. It's outside of you that gives great power. That's leveraged. That's leverage, the concept of leverage. Now, here's where we use it in income. You're going to magnify your efforts. The steel beam is channeling the same effort that you're putting into pushing the rock. But there's something about that steel beam, something about the concept of leverage, a tool that does more than you can do. It magnifies, it multiplies. So leveraged income is having something multiplying your efforts. Okay, what could that be when it comes to income? Well, the obvious initial answer is employees or people, right? That's why people start businesses, small businesses, because they realize that as good as you might be, you're locked in at whatever you're going to make an hour, $32 an hour, $64 an hour, or you're on your $75,000 a year salary, right? So they want to leverage the efforts of other people. That brings in the whole employee issue and the challenge of having employees, right? In fact, I won't share the whole story, but I met with a friend who I hadn't seen in a few years. But our first connection goes back 25 years ago when I started as an entrepreneur. I left the initial linear income world of working for a big company. I started some companies, and what did I start to do? Immediately, I started to use as much cash flow coming into my business to hire employees. Why? So that I could do more important things. I wasn't vacationing, I wasn't fishing, I wasn't hunting, I wasn't on the beach. I was doing other necessary activities in that business, but I would take one activity. Like, first person I ever hired was somebody to run my entire shipping operation, so I didn't have to touch it anymore. It gave me leverage, right? Had to hire somebody else. Well, we had somebody coming in for an interview, and I remember his first interview, he ended up being hired on. He ended up staying with the company. He ended up buying a portion of the company, and then buying all the other partners out. Anyway, 25 years later, he's still there, by the way. He's created a phenomenal business. 100 employees worked for him. 2 labels. I was in the fashion industry. 2 labels, 5 retail locations, 100 employees. I said, "Wow, congratulations!" I want to celebrate everybody's success. Amazing job. We'll have to go to lunch. To celebrate, and you'll have to tell me, how you did it, right? 25 years ago, I was the partner, right? I was the vice president, and he was just coming in for an interview, and now he's created his own amazing operation. So I wanted to celebrate with him. He didn't have enough time, by the way, I don't think, to go to lunch with me, or maybe he just didn't want to lunch with me. Who wouldn't want to go to lunch with me? But this is what he said. He's like,
"Oh, sorry.
I'll finish, and then you can take that thought, Ann. I said, "Wow, how'd you do?" And he said, "Just work, hard work. But it seems the more I work, right? The more employees I hire an employee to do this, and then I've got one more person I need to follow up on, one more person I need to manage, one more person I need to babysit." And he literally, it was just like I could see this burden that he'd been seeking leverage. He's leveraged his life to an extent because he's got 100 people doing jobs that he otherwise wouldn't be able to do, but he's not necessarily free. So leverage is a concept you absolutely want to find, and all that is a tool that will help you magnify your own efforts and get more than you could ever get on your own.
That was a beautiful example. And I had my own business. I had my own retail store many, many years ago. And the more people you hire, the more you're responsible for their well being. And you have to manage them so they do what they're supposed to do. And of course, nobody is going to do things the way you're going to do. You work harder than. But there's also right now, we can also leverage technology, so
Hmm.
that's coming in handy. So it makes it easier to manage a business, makes it easier to keep track. So it's better than linear, because linear, you're doing everything by yourself. Leveraged, we have other people doing something, so we are free to do other things that are better suited for our expertise. So it's a step up, a step up
Absolutely.
from linear. Yeah. But I want to go to the yummy stuff, right?
Okay.
The residual income. That's the next level up. So what is that about? What's residual income?
So I'm even going to say that residual income can be an extension or a result from of leverage, right? Leveraged income. But let's just define residual. It's a residue. It's something in your kitchen you don't want residue. All right. When my kids after dinner, everybody has a kitchen duty, right? You're on clearing, you're unloading the dishwasher, right? The more kids at home, the more we divvy it up. As the kids get out, grow up and move away, the kids the remaining are like, why do I have 7 dinner jobs? And one of those is to clean the counters, clean the surfaces. And they know that dad does not want any residue. And dad's going to come and he's going to wipe his hand along that counter.
That's
Right?
scary.
It is. I'm like, hey, what's this? Hey, yo, what's this? Right? And they're like, oh, no. But a residue is something that sticks around. Okay. It's bad when it comes to cleaning kitchens. It's great when it's income. Like, how would you love to have income that stuck around or that continued to come around? Right? It's the neighbor or the family member that's always there. Right? It's just never going to leave, never going to move out. Right? You want residual income. So, residual income is income that is derived typically from leverage or from a system, right? Systems can give you leverage, but it's structured so that you get paid on that system or that leverage over and over and over and over. People used to call it mailbox money, right? We've kind of graduated from mailboxes. We just call it direct deposit, but I just love it. It's this money that comes around over and over and over and over. Why? Because the value you've in the world of business, you've created or you've put out there some value. Because if it's not valuable, people shouldn't be paying for it. You don't want it, right?
Yep.
And we're not talking about getting something for nothing. We're talking about how do you create residual income or leveraged income streams, business assets. That's a word you should absolutely define and know front and back, top to bottom. An asset is something that you own that pays you money.
Yeah,
Right.
and so we do that. We do that in creating online programs, membership programs, and things like that. So I love it because when we use technology to leverage, we have content that's created. Then people can come and watch it, listen to it, use it over and over again, and there is monthly income coming in because people are using it. So they come in, they use the content. So that's residual income that makes life a lot easier. You have to create, then you leverage other people. Like right now we're leveraging each other's expertise. We're
Expertise.
leveraging,
Yeah.
yeah. So leverage is like when you work with others, and now residual comes from, like this is recorded. Now people can come in and watch. Like maybe there's no residual income from it, but there's residual experiences from it because people can watch it over and over again. So
Residual exposure,
yep,
residual
yep,
influence, residual impact.
yes,
And one of the
yes.
things and one of the concepts that really came to me 25 years ago when I was 7 years into a stint, 7 years into a 10-year stint in corporate America, linear income, by the way. And I had no idea that this even existed. So when this information came to me, this education that we're now perpetuating about the different types of cash flow, the different ways to make money, the different ways to create lifestyle and freedom, I thought, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? If I'm going to work, and you're going to work hard no matter what you do, you want to be successful, you better work hard. That's a foundation. But if that's the case, why wouldn't I want to get paid over and over and over on that? I want people to subscribe to the value that I'm putting out in the marketplace. And every subscription renewal, every time that subscription comes around again, maybe it's a yearly. I focus primarily on monthly subscriptions. I've got 60,000 people around the world right now who subscribe monthly to my business system, right? And they're buying products. 60,000 people a month. That's leverage.
I'm so glad you said it again. 60,000 people around the globe buying monthly. Guys, this is huge. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure we put the spotlight where it belonged.
Boom.
Yeah. Done. Okay.
So that's residual income, a keyword subscription, right? It's going to stick around. And again, if you're going to work hard, wouldn't you want to create something that can pay you over and over and over for the value that you're bringing to the marketplace?
Absolutely. So far, let's kind of connecting the dots.
Yes.
If it's a product, you create a product once. That's linear, like I create digital products, and there are physical products other people create, and there are service products. So we do it over and over again. Each time we do it, we get paid for it. That's one. Then we can actually take that same product, we can leverage it by having other people do the same thing, or having technology share that information. So that's leverage. Then the residual comes when we're able to take what's already created, leveraged by us, let's say, and then somehow there's residual because it's automated, because people can get access to it. And, digital products are a great, you know, and there's also learning experiences. There's other physical. Well, anyways,
physical products.
COVID, yeah, COVID
products,
taught us. Yeah, COVID taught us you can take anything and take it online. So we're leveraging it as a residual income available online. So now we have the residual. It's the I love that kind of that kind of sticks around after we're done doing our thing, after we're done leveraging. So now we want to go to that passive. Just I love that word alone, the passive. It just feels good. So what's passive income?
So passive income is income that is residual often, that comes in with passive intention or passive action. In other words, what's the opposite of passive? Active, right? Are you passive or active? Well, active income is what you got to go, linear income. It's hourly, it's hourly, it's commission. It doesn't matter what you're getting paid. We're talking today about the way you're getting paid and how you're getting paid. So eventually, over time, what you want to do is to create systems, leverage, residual income systems, etc., that lead to less and less requirement of your daily effort to generate income, right? So today, I'm active with you right now. We're going to work. I'm doing this because I'm building my business. This is funneling. This is feeding, right, my overall global expansion plan, and it's doing that for you as well. And we're active in this right now. There's nothing passive about what I'm doing right now, but it all feeds into a system that we've created for people like you, like me, that can then create leverage, leveraging the efforts and the expertise and the benefits and the dreams and the work of other people, turning that into residual income streams, right? And the further and further and further away from it that you become, right? I mean, I've got 60,000 people. What do I need to do to actively help those 60,000 people today? What do I need to do to reach them?
Right
Don't
here,
know.
you're doing it. Basically, this is what I'm seeing. This is
Those
what I'm
60,000,
yeah,
those 60,000 people today, I don't have to do anything. That is passive for me. It's
yeah.
passive. Like I can sleep. That's pretty passive. Sleeping is pretty
So
passive.
so so let's connect the dots here.
Yeah.
In using the example of what's happening right now. So right now we're in a linear mode of creating content because there are only so many hours a day you and I can show up. This is linear. We show up, we do something, right? So then we're leveraging it because now we're leveraging each other's expertise. We're leveraging technology. We're recording this, so we're actually going to be able to use it over and over and over again. We can use this as promotional item to create residual income because this will be like most of the people that are watching, they're business owners and they have online programs, they have their businesses.
Or physical
So
products.
yeah, exactly. So or they have services, you know. So this what's happening right now can be turned into a residual income, spotlighting certain products or services that we could have and we do have. And then the passive income comes from other people who are in the residual income area, other people that we're leveraging, who are leveraging our knowledge, who are leveraging our expertise to actually support each other. So basically, it's a community working together, each person doing their part. Each one has the linear, each one has the leverage, each one has the residual and the passive income. Each one plays a part in all of this. And that's the beauty of what I'm seeing here. And because at the end of the day, each one of us has something that we have to do. But then how do we work together to leverage, to create the residual benefits? And best of all, the passive, as you were saying, you can't by yourself support 60,000 people. However, the people that you have leveraging, like me, and leveraging your expertise, creating a residual income. So working together, we can get to the passive income. I just love this transition, from one to the other to the other. And I think that this is huge. Once we understand how it works, we know where we are in the four stages of creating income for ourselves, and we can jump from one stage to another intentionally.
Love it. I want to say J. Paul Getty, might have been Warren Buffett. Doesn't really matter. What they said matters. You must find a way to make money while you sleep, or you will be forced to work until the day you die. I ad-lib that a little, but think about that concept. We're not talking about, well, you need to find a way to do nothing, sleep all the time, and make a ton of money. That's not how it works. You got to pay the price. You got to put that leverage bar in there, and you got to work. You got to exert it. I'm working hard. I've got this amazing passive income business, residual income, leveraged income, but I'm working for the future. I'm working for what's beyond 60,000. I'm working what's beyond a $70 million business. I'm looking at 100 million, half a billion. I'm looking at helping 1 million people, right? So that's why I'm so actively building right now. But what I'm investing myself in is a method that can pay me while I sleep, so that I'm not forced to work every day of my life at somebody else's beck and call. Leverage, residual, passive, those are all manifestations of crossing the bridge, leaving behind. I'm going to be forced to work till the day I die and to live on a very limited fixed income, crossing and saying, you know what, I am going to find that way to make money while I sleep. I'm going to get some leverage. I'm going to create residual income streams. And eventually, none of that needs me, or needs me very, very minimally, And then it's become passive, where it's just income that flows. I'm not necessarily creating, I'm not necessarily recruiting, I'm not necessarily building, right? I'm living in all three of those, by the way. I'm living in all three of those. It's great to have passive income. I'm living for the next generation. I'm building generational wealth. I'm bringing my family. I'm bringing my daughter into this. I'm bringing my family members. I'm bringing my dear friends, Anne, right, into this to build it up. Why wouldn't you, right? But cross that bridge, because if you do not find a way to make money while you sleep, then you will be forced to work until the day you die, and it won't be on your terms.
Yeah, I love it. What a great point. You guys, this is the first of the series. We have weekly series coming up. We're going to be talking about all different kinds of ways to be able to go from linear to leveraging to residual to passive income, and we're going to be dancing around in there. So come on back, and we're going to be definitely, gosh, a lot to share. I'm super excited. So thank you so much for joining
Thank
me. I
you,
always
Anne.
appreciate your. I love your stories, by the way. I just never know where you're going to go with them.
Yeah,
You always
this is true. This is true.
you always find something. This is coming from a storytelling person, right? I'm all about the story. I'm like, whoa. I love the way you make the connections. I love the way you connect the known to the unknown. And it's just a beautiful way to actually unwrap the gifts that you always share with us. So thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week, next Monday. And just, by the way, just stay tuned, stay connected to us, follow, look below for the links, because it's going to be sometime during the day on Monday. Well, which one it is? Maybe that's going to add to the excitement. Okay, so with that, we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.